It started in graduate school. My first class in philosophy was Socratic ethics, and the instructor, it was a graduate seminar, the instructor was very patient with me. I'd come to him and say, this argument of Socrates is very bad, it's full of holes. And he says, oh, show them to me. And we talk about it, and I'd see, oh, there aren't really problems in that argument. But this one has, and I talked about that, oh, that one's pretty good too. So I got it as my working hypothesis that if an argument of Socrates doesn't seem like it works, I probably haven't thought about it enough. And it was exciting for me. That got me started. I was always good at school. I was a first-generation student, and I would have been expected. My father was a milkman, and I worked at the dairy, and the other employees there, I worked for, some of them would say, you're good at school, why don't you become a doctor or a lawyer? Because that was what they would think you'd do with an education. And this was back in the 70s, when education was better funded than it is now, and I didn't have to go into debt to go to college, and I just saw it as an opportunity to explore ideas. I was interested in philosophy and math, not in biology or the law. And so those things got my interest. So I studied math as an undergrad. I went to graduate school actually in math, but my first semester I changed to philosophy just because I liked it more and I was better at it. Now, when you're working on a degree in philosophy, it's in the hopes that you'll become a professor. And that became my goal. There's never any certainty because professors of philosophy, then as now, are it's almost like being an NBA player. It's an aspiration, and you go to grad school more for its own sake. But I was able to get a job when I got out, and I was glad, and the rest is history. It's studying Socrates and Aristotle on how to live an excellent life. And that's something that I teach and have done research on. It has to do with seeing your life as having a shape, aiming towards your own well-being or flourishing. It doesn't assume that being moral is part of that shape, but it argues that your best strategy for a happy life is to be what we would call moral. For most of my career, ancient philosophy, which I'm teaching this semester, and I teach it to a small group of students, and they work on the text, and they put their writing ideas on the board, and we talk about them as a group, and I see how well they make sense of what the class's progress is. It's not a one-way discussion, it's more about building the skill of becoming a critical thinker, being able to raise objections, think of replies, identify premises, and see conclusions. But it happens to be about something, most of the class, something the students are interested in, how to live an excellent life. Whether it's smart to be virtuous or it's stupid to be noble. And those kind of questions. What virtue is, what friendship is, how to be reverent, all those are aspects of the class. So it's a better class than I'm used to having. Usually when I look through the class and I see their faces, I've been doing this for 45 years, I figure about 1 in 3 of my students will end up on death row. Statistics bear this out. Plato and Aristotle are so much fun to teach in a discussion format that there's always some idea coming up that's fun to engage in. If it was a lecture, you could imagine after 45 years or 35 years here, it'd be kind of stale, but it's like, no, it's always fun. Oh, study. Show up to class. Come prepared.